Hey everybody, Sarah here. Welcome to another episode of Game Review Monday. This week we're going to take a look at a game I played last week during a heckin' loss streak so that we can figure out what went wrong, what we can fix, and how to do better next time. As a reminder, if you want me to take a look at your games, you can hop over to the Discord. There's a channel in there that you can drop your match IDs and maybe a little bit of information about what you did, why I should take a look at the game. And I look at more than one game on Monday, but we obviously only have time for one to get cut down into a YouTube video. I hope you enjoy this one. We also have a little bit of extra analysis and stuff at the end, so if you stick around for that and enjoy it, please make sure to leave a like and a subscribe, and enjoy this week's edition of Game Review Monday. Oh yeah, I think I know some of what happens in this game. So partially we're playing against Yamato Sinclair, and I think, actually no, we're playing against Sinclair 7. This is a really, really hard lane. Sinclair's just such a dominant laner, and 7's clear is crazy. So let's think here. We're playing in the yellow lane, playing Bebop against Sinclair 7. How can we approach this in a way that will be reasonable? I would say maybe, so off rip, I feel like bomb level 1 is maybe not ideal. Like I think maybe this is like a lane where like I could look at trying to grab hook first, because most likely they're gonna push up really fast. And maybe there's like maybe like getting a hook under tower would be more effective than grabbing bomb, because I don't think bomb stacks are going to be super easy to come by in this lane. So maybe that's something we could try in future hard lanes like this. Give it a shot for something else. So we're going to play over here towards the right, look for bombs. This is kind of sketchy, and I don't want to go in too aggressively here, mostly because I don't know what 7's starting ability is. And if 7 starts stun and I get assistant stunned, then that is going to be a problem. But really, we got to play around this Magician's assistant, and I don't think that we can really do anything too aggressively until Magician doesn't have an assistant, because Magician will just win any trade. Yeah, this is not good. This is bad. I went for the bomb here, and I take half my health for a bomb. I take 2/3 of my health. Okay. Wow. Yikes. What a horrendous trade. So I think the only things that, so that was just bad, obviously. So things to have considered is, I think first off, I'm never allowed to do that without both stamina bars, so I at least have some chance of getting out. So if I believe I only did that with like the one stamina bar, and then I used the second one to get back here. But like, I take so much damage for that bomb, and something that maybe is worth doing just so that I don't get baited into looking for bombs, because that was obviously too aggressive. I think some bomb rules for me should just be, all right, like I can hunt for bombs, but I don't want to hunt past cover right here, right? Like on their side over here, like this. So like this, like their little statue guy over here, and this guy. I don't think I think that there's like a virtual line right there that I'm not allowed to go past when I look for bombs, especially when they have cooldowns up, and especially when we don't have push into their tower. Like if our minions are at their tower, it might be a little bit of a different story, but that bomb was horrendous, and I think I just single-handedly lost our lane looking for that bomb, because now I have 270 health against this lane, which is pretty bad. This Sinclair can throw bolts at me, and I basically, I don't think I can recover from this now. I have to buy heal right here, and I have to go run around and not get healing rate popped off me. I actually think that here, I mean, I think that this is, the timer is a little off. I don't think boxes spawn here. I think boxes spawn in like 10 seconds, which is hard. But yeah, this is where we're getting into trouble, where it's just so hard to, I think I have to play like so far back. Because with that trade, I can't contest the wave anymore. Like, I can't play up to contest the wave. No, I think this is just, I don't know, playing kind of recklessly, but I don't know what choice I have. I can't face tank that guy shooting me for that minion. This is so cooked. So cooked. Yeah, and then this was no good. The 7, that was a good play from the 7. I would say that was definitely a good play from the 7. Good play to contest me when I went for boxes there. I probably should have just been smart like my Viscous and left and gone back to base and maybe tried to salvage this lane and just... But I think as a result, we lose tower here at like 3 minutes, which is pretty terrible. Alright, well somehow we managed to salvage our tower. We have no tower health. We're not down too badly. The biggest issue is just that our tower has no health. And like we're just gonna be stuck clearing waves for forever. Extra region seems like a bit of a silly buy. I'm already in full health more or less. I eat this entire ball for that. I don't get an uppercut. The damage is good here. I go back to... Man, I don't know. I think that... that punch was... I don't know. After that parry, I don't think I go for the uppercut there. Okay, so we trade me for 2, which is good. But Viscous is very low health. Probably just needs to leave and back now. I mean, this isn't terrible. This is not terrible. We did do a good... Who more Valen? We had a pretty reasonable trade there. They do catch all of this CS, so I mean, the lane should be more or less even here. Actually, I think we're slightly ahead. We should be looking to try to secure buffs here if possible. Okay, they kill our tower there. Maybe that initiation there was a little bit too aggressive. Try to look for a hook there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I guess I can't look for a hook there with they have 7 ult like that aggressively. Like I can hook under tower, but probably needed to play around their ults and respect their ults a little bit more. So this I don't know about. This one, I don't know if freezing just generally in Deadlock really does anything. Like obviously they lose this wave, which I think is something. But they do a lot of stuff on the map. I think this freeze is only okay if my Viscous isn't here. And went to blue. But I think if my Viscous is gonna be here, we have to push the lane. and try to make something happen in this 2v1, because otherwise I don't know if it really makes much sense. Man, I really think it'd be cool if freezing worked in Deadlock more than it does. Man, I'm just eating these bolts, but that's tough. Yeah, this is hard because we're at like 6 minutes, right? And they've taken our tower, and this 7 just gets to eat as much jungle and as many boxes as he wants. Which is not great for the state of the game. I'm gonna give the Viscous the lane and try to roll out blue and see if we can't make something happen here, which I think is probably fine. Missing the hook isn't ideal. I should be shooting creeps here. I should have shot creeps here. I should be shooting creeps here. I don't know what I'm doing. Wow, I'm gonna die for that instead of just shooting creeps at tower. Oof. Oof. What am I smoking right there? There's just a wave that's like, there's just a wave at the tower, and I'm on the bridge ulting a shiv under tower. That's just like, I don't know, maybe it was like a bit of tilt or something, but I mean, I should never be pushing that far in front of a creep wave to basically do nothing. I mean, those 3 creeps are worth as much as the kill on shiv. And now we lose blue, and I think I die again. No, I don't die again, but we lose blue for that. We basically lose blue because I decided to do that. That's so bad. Not good, not good. My FPS are nice on the clicked into the game. Well, whoopsies. Might look kind of shit.
Such arcane mysteries I will show you.
I should have been looking to see if it was reasonable for me to be trying to push blue there. Alright, we're gonna go do some jungling stuff, which I think is fine. We're gonna go start rotating from mid to jungle. Oh, this is not good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This one's hard. Well, we go back. I need to go back, like, let's go back 10 seconds here. I want to see if there's anything to suggest that I can't contest this mid wave when I go to contest it. I think this pathing was no good. I think I'm not killing anyone mid. I have nothing. I'm here to hold. I should be taking a much more passive pathing. Do I survive even if I do that? Maybe not. They have lasso and a bunch of other stuff, but I think it gives me a better chance. Definitely need to be mindful of that, especially when I'm this weak. Yeah, I guess there's nothing visibly to suggest that this is incorrect on the map, at least. Like, I mean, I see, and this is if I'm paying attention, which, you know, 50-50. Like, I see the 3v2 happening here. Realistically, I shouldn't expect to have a 3-person collapse on me mid. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I would imagine that one of these guys would be rotating out at least. But regardless, I do think that there's no benefit for me going this way. This is very aggressive pathing, and I'm not killing anyone on their team right now. I have no money. I have no damage. I only have, you know, I have 24 bomb stacks, which is decent, but I don't think I'm winning any 1v1s here. I need someone else with me. There's no one else on blue. I shouldn't be taking aggressive pathing here, because if I'm, instead of being here, just like back over here, it's way harder for them to kill me, right? So yeah. Yep. Yep. Like if I had been playing, so if I started this by basically like being like over here. So this is also like I think a thing that that exists in other MOBAs, right? Where I know when I walk into lane here, let me go back another 10 seconds. And this is, you know, sometimes hard to know in the moment or whatever, but it's good to be aware of. But I know that I have a viscous over here. I just cleared this guy. That's the one I just cleared, right? Double check that. Yeah, so I just cleared this. My viscous is on this side of the map, so I know this area is safe. All of this should be safe. I don't know what's going on over here. I don't know what's going on over here, and I don't know what's going on over here. So what I should do is path in this way and stay on this side, because that way they have the longest distance to get to me if I'm playing on this right side over here. And being aware of like, okay, I know this is safe. I don't know what's going on over here. And so the safest place for me, and right now my primary objective is to catch this wave and not die, but I don't know that I'm actually being mindful of that. Right, and so I take this aggressive pathing. Oh god, alright, my game is freaking out because we went back in time, so we'll see if that, hopefully that resolves itself. But so my positioning is too far up, for sure. I don't take good pathing here, like I drop down into, like, and I see this holiday and I'm like, oh, I'm cooked. But it's already too late because I'm like my positioning is terrible.
It's gonna blow.
Make a reasonable attempt at a jump out here, but if theoretically if I was like here shooting the wave, it's a lot harder for holiday. I see the shiv over here way sooner, and then I can retreat this way, or even like retreat back towards my viscous, and my viscous is over in this area of the jungle, right? So like I can come path this way and get closer to my viscous and try to get help, but my positioning there just doesn't make any sense. It's no good. For sure. Okay, so we have made some mistakes. We've made some pretty egregious mistakes, actually. Like a lot.
Be careful, shifts around.
So I'm glad we're looking at this today, because I think especially when you're on a bit of a bender in the lost streak department, the brain. hopefully I don't just die again here. So, oh boy. All right. So I think that let's talk about this for a minute. I think when you go on like a lost streak, especially on a lost streak, let me get rid of all this. Actually, wait, no, I don't want to get rid of all that. Let's get rid of just the bullet points. Especially when you're like on a lost streak, right? Especially when you're on a lost streak, I think the tendency is to just like slam more games, and a lot of the mindfulness goes out the window because you're not thinking about like what you need to be doing in the game to win or lose. in like the correct way. A lot of times, I think when you lose, your mental gets worse. I feel like I'm gonna go grab like a. See if I can grab a paint thing. Make this bigger. So like I think that when you lose, like if this is, here, let's go mental. Like you're losing, you're losing, you're losing, you're losing, you're losing. Your mental's going down. And like you start getting like stuck in this like this cloud of like I have to win. Some like I have to win mentality. And when you're like I have to win, you start forcing stuff. Start forcing stuff, so like if I'm playing Bebop, it's like I am like, instead of just like playing for opportunity to like go hook somebody and get a kill and try to play around my team, I'm like, all right, I have to carry this game, I have to win this game, like I have to be the thing that's going to win the game. This I think starts pushing you to make high risk, not even high reward plays, but just so like as your mental goes down, I would say like your risk aversion also goes down. And when your mental and your risk aversion goes down, you start getting really, really sloppy. And when you get sloppy, you start running down into the mid lane and just dying because you're not paying attention to other stuff. You're just like, I'm only looking for opportunities to do something. I'm not like chilling and playing the game. Not just like clearing the wave, looking for opportunities, trying to play with my team. Specifically, I think some of the big problems with this are like deadlock is a team game. You can't just like in some cases sure you can carry, but like especially on characters like Bebop, you need to play with your team. Unless you're hella fed. Like, I'm not playing around my team at all. I'm not trying to like go find other players to partner up with and look for hooks and get people out of position. Like my whole character is like I hook, I get people out of position so that my team can take advantage of that. And like, how do I do that if I'm dead? So I'm just making risky plays equals more time dead equals less opportunity. Right? So I'm making a bunch of risky plays. I'm spending a lot of time dead. I don't have a lot of opportunity to even try to play with my team. So, and I think part of that is probably getting stuck in like this I've lost a bunch of games mental, but and like I think counterintuitively the really hard part about that is getting out of that mental space is really hard. And also like I think that especially for me, I tend to blame myself a lot and then just kind of get like sad and play worse and not really like focus on the fact that like I think that the biggest parts are like deadlock, team game, right? Deadlock's a team game, and it's about objectives and the map. It's not about how many kills I get. And when I'm 1 in 5 at 10 minutes, I'm dying every 2 minutes. I've spent 2 minutes of this game probably already, at least, dead. And that's 2 minutes that I'm not on the map and making the game easier for my team to play. That's 2 minutes where you know, lanes are getting shoved in, people are stuck in 2v1s, the stuff in the jungle is getting stolen, our towers are under threat, and we're not putting any pressure on the map because I'm just sloppily, like, you know, trying to look for hooks that don't matter, you know, because I'm like, I see someone on the map and I want to hook them. And those hooks are just so irrelevant unless I have somebody like to partner up with and pair with so that we can actually confirm a kill. And I'm not fed or strong enough to be looking for solo kills. And now Vindicta and I are both gonna die here. Because I just kind of walked at mid. Right, and so now we're at death 6 in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. We're you know, spending a quarter of the game dead at this point. It's probably not quite that bad, but we've spent so much time dead where we just, you know, aren't helping our team or making the game better or easier. We're making the game harder for our team, we're making the game harder for ourselves. I think this is fine. This rollout for this open is fine. Although I will say, tragically getting a reactive barrier there for the hook, but that's fine. We'll still get a kill. I feel like this is like the final point where I'm like, okay, now we're playing the game. Now we're doing some stuff. We're getting a tower, and it's 11 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. I do think I should have probably pushed one more wave there, but and at this point, you know, the game is still playable. We're only 4K down, so I am like, what am I gonna do there? Like, why do I even look at this? Why am I even looking at this shiv, right? Like, I can't kill this guy. Like, this is just junk. This is like junk damage. I lose half of my health bar to do, you know, maybe a quarter of Shiv's HP, who has fortitude. And like right here, like, what am I doing? I should just be shooting the wave and then go finding something productive to do. Like, running around looking at this Shiv isn't gonna do anything. I think I decided there that I can't really contest Shiv, but look at how much CS I lost because I didn't just go shoot the wave and I was like chasing around the Shiv for no reason. You always gotta go for the wave first. I think at this point, I right here, I decide like, oh yeah, I think our Kelvin actually a little left at this point. Oh, maybe he comes back. I don't remember. But at this point, I was like, I can't contest this Shiv on mid, so I'm just gonna go farm the jungle. But like, Shiv can't really kill me on mid, realistically. And I can just shoot the wave and then go. And instead of going like wave first, so I think I am gonna lose like, you know, 1 or 2 CS for going to the jungle camp first, which is not great. I think this urn is probably not contestable. We have no ults, we have no Kelvin, so I think that is what it is. Yeah, I just get jumped here.
Come at me all you want. The result's gonna be
Let's think here. I want to go back 10 seconds. I want to think if there's something here that would suggest to me that this is a bad... I think I kind of was thinking that this was a bad idea when I went for it. Let's think about why this might be a bad idea. Ah, yes, this is why this would be a bad idea. I think this camp is fine, whatever. But they're on Urn. Their entire team should be on this side of the map, or at least most of them. what is this advantage going to do? There's no guardian for them to push. So what is the logical next step of them taking the urn? What is like the next step for this team? They have good waves and push in all of their lanes. Obviously, they're going to come in and invade this jungle. So I do think that this is just a, you know, this is probably not the place for me to be. I think that this camp is probably fine, but going for the boxes up top is super greedy. They're really loud, and if anyone even walks into like this camp, they're gonna hear me, and I'm gonna get super jumped. And we're down 8k and 2 people. 10, you reversed the loss streak. That's excellent news. I'm looking at some of the games from the loss streak to try to figure out how to be better at the game. And let me tell you, my performance on this game in Bebop is pretty horrendous.
The urn has been delivered.
I do think something that I should do in the future is more proactively look at like my games when I'm in a loss streak to try to break it up a little bit. But yeah, there you go. I'm just gonna be here too, even if I was, yeah, so this is so cooked. Hope you'll be able to win 11-1 the last few days and lost 4 after. 11-1's pretty good. Yeah, I'll figure it out. It'll be all right. I am hopeful there'll be a patch soon and maybe that'll spice things up. I think it's good that I've been looking at this game and a couple other games though, because I will say it gives a lot of motivation for improvement when you are on a loss streak and you look at your games. Because I feel like sometimes you're on a loss streak and you're like, I just can't win. Like, my team sucks, I suck, everything's bad, and now I'm like looking at this and I'm like, no, it's like, I mean, sure, there's probably things my team could have done better or whatever, but like, holy shit, like, what am I doing? Like, I'm just running at Shiv and, like, what am I doing here? I'm just running at Shiv and fucking Magician when our team's down 10k, I lose a quarter of my health out of base, like, past the wave that I just lost, with no one that would even back that hook up. Like, what am I doing? That's terrible. That hook was nice. Oh, I know that tilt pushing. Yeah, it's like, well, I was talking about it a little earlier in like a whole paint thing, but like, I think there's a tendency when you're losing a lot to be like, I have to win the game. And as a result, you start making some really sloppy choices. Hook was kind of sick. I think I remember in this game being like, man, I don't know, I'm hitting some really sick hooks and it's just not mattering, like we're just gonna lose. And I'm like, meanwhile, feeding my ass off and playing horrendously. Like there, I mean, like, why are we fighting behind the walker? We didn't clear the wave, we just kind of lost blue walker for free. I'm pretty sure this game is cooked at this point. But our Kelvin's gone, so I mean, sometimes being too much means having to go for 6th place. Being too much means having to go for 6th place. I think there's a difference between going for 6th plays when there's like some odds of success versus going for overly aggressive, silly plays because you're tilted. Right? Like if I was like if I was at like 20k in this game as Bebop and there was like some reasonable way for me to 1v1 people that I was hooking and I was paying attention to the map and trying to be smart about the aggression that I was doing, sure, I would agree. But a lot of this is like just like junk fighting that doesn't do anything. It doesn't progress the game in any meaningful way, and most of the time just ends with me dying. I think there's like so there's the sick plays where you're like, ah, I respect you trying to go for that, and then there's the sick plays where it's I am tilted and running it down. And there's a I think a pretty important difference between the two. Yeah, I get it, but the only problem is that you call it junk when you can call it limit testing. but I agree, but once again, I think that there's just like a, like there's like a, and like for the purposes of like mental cope or whatever, I would agree, but in like the reality of the game, it's just like there is. Like, limit testing is fine if it's like, oh, I have a 1v1, I'm paying attention to the map, I know that there's not really going to be anyone here for at least 20 seconds, like, I have the space to try to go for this, to see if, like, I can kill this person and try for this 1v1, or like, man, I'm really strong here, like, I can see if I can't try to go for this 1v2 and, you know, like, aggress more than I normally would to see if it's going to work, versus I have no business being here, what am I doing? Which is, a lot of this game is just when I have no business being here. Like, what am I doing? So, alright, so, all of the rest of those play out in the background, but in the lane, draw a line for Bebop bombs. Don't go past that line. Oh yeah, this game isn't abandoned, that's right. Cover on their side. Here, we'll just go swap this to someone on their team so there's something happening in the background. Cover on their side.
Damn it, I lost him.
Mindful of lane matchups. Don't start tweaking for bombs. Be patient for opportunities. And focus on the things that actually matter. Waves and towers. Be mindful of map states. Look for hooks with impact. With a teammate around. Don't. Why is this not happening? Why can't this? Don't be impatient and walk up to waves mindlessly. You can easily get punished, especially if characters like Holiday are missing. So I think like a good checklist for contesting waves would be like, or for contesting waves aggressively would be like, is Holiday on the map? How strong am I? How fast can I clear the wave? What are my escape tools? So characters like Bebop with only 2 stamina bars got to be a lot less aggressive about pushing or catching waves and contesting waves. Make sure we're on objectives, focused on map, looking for opportunities, but not forcing. Late game. This game did not go late. Alright, the takeaways for this one I'm going to say are... don't tweak in lane for bomb stacks. Look for good hooks and timings where they don't have much. Try to keep an eye on the map for relevant characters and areas of the map that we have control of to play around. And the last one I'm going to say is, if on another loss streak, let's say like 4 to 5 games, take a break to watch a couple of the games to try to reset mental and find errors. Man, I need to watch more of my own gameplay for sure. Do you not spend enough time watching my own games? Okay. Cool. That was one kind of shit Bebop game. Well, this is a 46-minute pocket game. We could take a look at this maybe. Take a look at a long pocket game. See what we get out of that. Sure. Yeah, let's take a look at this longer pocket game. See what kind of conclusions we can draw. And then while this is downloading, I'll do my like little blurb. So this so we'll have one of these probably the first game just because it's a little shorter. Go up on YouTube for the Game Review Monday. Hopefully either later tonight or tomorrow. And then we do it every Monday. If you're not in the Discord and you're in chat, I think most people in chat are in Discord, but if you're not in Discord and in the chat, there is a Discord server where you can submit replays of yourself that I would be more than happy to look over on stream on Mondays. And that will potentially get made into a YouTube video, and I would always appreciate anyone to go take a look. The support's always nice. Anacron, I need to review more of my games. Yeah, I mean, I think it makes a big difference, and it's like it's hard to get out of the loop of just pushing the queue up, play another game. I think like, well, because I was doing some reading, right, and some stuff from like other coaches and stuff, and like I think that the recommended ratio of time playing to like doing some kind of learning. Here, I'm gonna fucking kind of destroy my paint. Just get rid of all this. Boom. Okay, that didn't work. Erase it. Oh, that doesn't work very well either. New. Don't save. Learning. So playing. I'm zooming this a little bit, but let's make this bigger. Let's make like 22. Recommended play to learn. Recommended. So this is the one that I'm talking about was based on specifically what educators do for professions that require a lot of hands-on experience to be able to perform them. So we're talking doctors, surgeons, stuff like that, even like a plumber or an electrician, where the job itself is a hands-on job that requires you to do something, but So that's what the numbers for this are based on. So the recommended was 50-50 when you're a beginner. So you spend about 50% of your time, and that 50-50, so 50% is playing, or so 50% in the world of Deadlock would be spend 50% of your time playing the game, and then 50% of the time learning. But learning in this would mean, so 50% would be watching better players, developing VOD review skills, practicing aim, reviewing with a coach is also very helpful. So there's like, learning is not just like only looking at your own VODs. There's a lot of other like learning activities. Other learning activities could even be stuff like, like spend time making builds, whatever. I think all of these are valid, like game learning activities. And then, so after you're a beginner, so when you're like a quote unquote like intermediate player, then you want to swap to 70-30. So 70% play, 30% learn. And I think the recommendation changes a little bit too for what you're doing with your learn time at this point. I think the learn time would be is mostly at this point VOD review yourself, look at better players, and not even necessarily better other players, because at this point, theoretically you should be pretty good. But you want to find out what the other people are doing, if they're doing anything cool, interesting, whatever, right? And then review with a coach of some kind. That went off the screen, which is fine. And then I think the last thing that they said was, I don't know if this probably doesn't apply as much, because I think that I think esports has less of a, like most esports have less of a quote unquote like mastery of a skill, because you're inherently competing against other people. So I don't know if this stage really applies as much to esports, because it's not like you learn how to install a specific thing and then you've done it 100 times and you know everything about it, because so there's no like mastery stage. But in the mastery stage, their recommendation was to do like 90-10. So most of it, like 90% of your time is practicing, or is like doing the thing, playing the game, and then 10% would be like continued education stuff. I think that doesn't really apply so much to esports, this section, just because of the way that esports is. So I think that esports is kind of forever locked in the intermediate category, where it's like a 70-30, since you're competing against other people. If you are like, for some reason, like the best player in the world, then maybe this makes sense. But I think even if you're the best player in the world, like I think you're constantly looking at other people and trying to figure out what's going on and reviewing stuff with a coach. So I honestly think that this is sort of like a not super relevant for esports. I think it's mostly just the two I would focus on are the beginner and the intermediate for esports. And I think that since everyone that's in the chat right now is like in like the Phantom Plus bracket, I would consider to be like you're probably in the intermediate bracket at that point. I think 50-50 beginners are probably like I would say if you're just starting Deadlock or are quite low rank and are like seriously lacking in like fundamentals, and especially if like you don't know how to review your own VODs and you have some aim that really needs work, or some other stuff that really needs work, then spending more time working on those skills that need to be really honed. You need those skills to be at least a decent baseline before I think you can be considered like an intermediate player. So, anyways, that's the 70-30 spiel while we were waiting for that game to come. Would you consider like running mock plays under the game or learning the game? I do think that there is like value. So I think there's like for League of Legends, there's like a website where they have like snippets of a game or whatever, and it's like, what should you do under these circumstances? I think that's probably useful, like hypotheticals, just to build a base of stuff. I don't know how useful running like mock plays would be. I think it would, like, if you could control it. I think the problem is that like the tools, like there's not great tools for that. I know there's there's at least a couple of good deadlock teams. There is a couple of good deadlock teams. Oh no, deadlock's offline. Fuck. Are we getting a patch? That would be sick. There are some good deadlock teams who, for example, will run like 2v2 lane practice. So they'll just only do the lane phase, only 10 minutes. Because I think that's like the most easily controlled part of the game. And they'll just practice in lanes. So when I mean mock plays, I mean like learning protocols, like going into customs and practicing protocols. I don't know if the protocol piece is so much in Deadlock currently. I think there might be some value for practicing protocols in like maybe like mid-boss secures or earn fights, but I think the problem is right now is that like the game is so in flux and moves so quickly that protocols are often, I think, less useful than like mental agility and being able to respond to different situations very quickly, because I think that there's just too many variables and situations right now for protocols to be super useful. Yeah, you could protocol like the first 3 waves. Yeah, I think a lot of this is useful for the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game. I think that it gets really, really hard post 5 to 10 minutes to plan. But in theory, I think you can. I think in theory, like the first few waves, you could probably have a pretty clear like, this is what our game plan is against the spread of other characters as the duos that you would theoretically be playing. I think that definitely can be a thing. And I really should probably pull this up over here so that people can see it. So I think that there is probably some value to that, but beyond that, it's kind of hard. I think you might be able to have like some mid-boss secure protocols or some earn secure protocols or something like that, where there's a little bit more of a controlled number of variables. But also I think that it's difficult to want to put that effort in when the game changes so frequently currently. I think the most useful thing that you could do as like a quote-unquote practice thing currently would be running a lot of 2v2 lane practice. I think that is actually genuinely very useful. Because winning your lane consistently is very powerful, and being able to win it quickly is very strong. So I do think there is use for that. I don't know that there's necessarily a whole lot of, like, I don't know that the time spent for the return on a bunch of other time in like practice tool stuff wouldn't necessarily make a lot of sense. But I do think that would be useful. So running 2v2s is definitely, oh fuck, shit, god damn it. Running 2v2s I think is a good use of time. which honestly would be a good thing for, like, I don't know, if the Discord got more popular, and people started hopping in there. I think that running some 2v2 nights would be pretty useful. Because especially if you get like 12 people for like an in-house type thing, where every lane is filled, and then just be like, all right, you're not, you're stuck in you're basically caged in your chunk of the map, but buffs are allowed, and then you just run a bunch of 2v2s. I think that would be pretty useful. So, I'd be really hyped for these kinds of runs. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be good. Might be kind of hard to organize with regularity currently, though, but something to think about for sure. If you've made it this far in the video, I certainly appreciate you sticking around this long. If you could leave a like, comment, subscribe, means a lot to a new creator like me. Just a reminder, if you would like me to take a look at your game, you can submit a review over on the Discord. There's a channel for VOD reviews there. Next week we'll have another game review Monday, and if you want to catch us live every weekday, 12 to 4, sometimes longer. And if you're there on Monday, you can see more game reviews live. I appreciate you sticking around and watching the video, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.